Hey, it's Jobber here with Team Jobber. And we got done winning, what is it, one of the side events?
The public event playoffs.
Nice, and you won a Minerva, and then they have their own Dylan, and he won a Minerva. So, all right, we're going to get a profile on the Kozmo deck that ended up winning one of the Minervas.
Two of them. And 16.
They were playing the exact same.
Oh, so it won 2 Minervas this build right here. Okay.
16.
And top 16.
And top 16.
Yeah, this exact build.
Card for card. So, yeah. So we started out with 3 Farm Girls. It's one of the most amazing cards of the deck. It's like $90 right now, and then Destroyers 2, MVP. Wicked Witch. This card is amazing against Rogue and like just every deck. You can't get over this card. It's great, and then it helps you out Imperial Iron Walls too, because before the new set came out, this deck had a lot of trouble with Imperial Iron Walls, but now that you can just summon this and then tribute for Slip Riders, like it's amazing. And yeah, this card is really good too. I really like using this to pop my Kozmo Towns. Like if you can OTK them, which I'll show you how we do later, you basically use this card, and if you have another pilot on the board, you can pop your Kozmo Town, search a Destroyer. Destroyer pops this, play a Farm Girl, and then you get a Destroyer off the Farm Girl search, and then you just OTK them with that. And it's a lot of damage.
It's beautiful.
After that, we're playing 3 Forerunner. So it looks like we're playing a lot of Kozmo cards, but basically the logic is we just needed a lot of monsters so we could get it off with Reasoning, right? And we wanted a lot of variation between our cards because throughout the event people were calling 4.
Yeah.
And with this, like, we cut it down to 20 monsters, and there are 7 level 4 cards. So basically, it was about a 30% chance that they would get it right if you didn't open any level 4s. And even then, I felt like Reasoning was amazing, just because the problem with this deck is the normal summon monsters, there's too many of them, right? And then if you open too many, you can't play out your hand. But if you have something like a Reasoning, you can go Reasoning, Dark Destroyer, pop itself, Farm Girl, go into that normal summon monster and the other ships that you have too. So basically, this build was just trying to open up your hands, and if we had one Reasoning and a normal summon monster, you could basically play out your whole hand and win the game from there. Yeah, Honest was really great. Even though they had a ruling change for it in the damage calc where you can't activate it anymore,
yeah,
it's better now as a defensive card than an aggressive card. So
yeah.
I really liked Honest in the build, and it was really clutch against mirror matches and stuff when I was using, like I just had a Strawman on the board,
yeah,
right, floating because they thought I was trying to go, basically they attacked over my Destroyer,
right, and
then I had a Farm Girl and then, or sorry, a Strawman, this guy right here, one Strawman.
Yeah.
Basically they thought that I was just trying to go Strawman loop them, like get the Destroyer back and then special ship from hand, because they would play E-Telly, try to run over this guy, and then I would just Honest them and it would be over from there.
Yeah.
So yeah, Honest was pretty good, but you have to side these out against defensive decks like Magispector and BA, just because your cards aren't going to run over anything. This is more for like aggressive decks or decks that leave their monsters in attack mode. Right. So this was a really good card too, and a lot of the time you have to preemptively use it with Farm Girl to get off the exact 1500 damage. Like even if you can run over the card too, like let's say you're playing against Magispector, and they have a Raccoon at 1200, right? Your Farm Girl can attack into it, and you want to drop the Honest just so you deal the exact 1500 damage to OTK them. Right. And then 2 Good Witches too. I was originally playing 3, but just because with Reasoning we have already 8 monsters if I'm playing the 3rd one, right? I wanted to cut it down to get it less than 30%. And these are just really good, like they out everything. They have a lot of applications in Rogue. When you're playing against BA, you can target the non-floater card, so let's say they have like a Scarm and a Graph, right? If you target the Scarm, the Graph will just explode and then hit Seer or whatever, but you basically don't let them float for the rest of the turn. And this is just really good in the mirror match too, because you can summon and kill the Wicked Witch, or force their Farm Girls to go into their ships, and then you can show your ship after that. So a lot of people have been cutting this card, but I really like it. Basically 3 Kozmo Town, really good card, amazing. And 3 Reasoning. This is so good in this deck, and it's only really good because we're also playing 3 Offerings to the Doomed, which allows us to pop the ships that we get off of this and search for Farm Girls. So one of the biggest problems with this card is after you summon the ship, let's say you hit a Forerunner, right? It doesn't actively do anything. Right. But if you have the Offerings with it too, like you explode. This was our tech for the weekend basically. Shout out to Andre and Andy for coming up with this. Basically this card is so good. You don't need to draw phase because you're either gonna OTK them that turn, okay?
Yeah.
Or if you don't, you can always search a Kozmo Town, and then your Kozmo Town lets you return a banished card, and then shuffle back in your deck to draw any other card. So every turn you have a draw phase as long as you have something in your banish pile. The other thing is this card targets a Wicked Witch. If you're playing the mirror match, right, and they're trying to play defensively, you can OTK through them because if they Wicked Witch you, they'll pay 1,000, you chain this from your hand, clear their card, and then you just push through. So this card just has a lot of different applications, and it was so clutch in the weekend. Like, we came up with this combo, it does over like 16,000 damage with 4 cards, so yeah, it was insane. And to finish it off, standard 3 E-Tellies. And yeah, so the reason why we played the Reasonings too was so we could figure out more cards that worked like E-Telly to get rid of the normal summon issue.
Right.
And these were just amazing. Like, if you draw this Reasoning and a normal summon monster, you basically win the game. So these cards are really good. And to top it off, 2 MSTs. MST is really good in this deck because you use it aggressively and defensively too. You can pop your own Kozmo Town to search any Kozmo card in your hand during the second turn that you're playing. So either clear their back row, or you go off, you have a, like, let's say you have a Wicked Witch, you can MST your Kozmo Town, search for a Dark Destroyer, and you just win from there. And I like this card a lot better than Galaxy Cyclone, just because you can use it the very first turn, so.
You're fuck around.
3 breakthrough skills. So the rest of the deck is super aggressive, right? We needed just something to balance the deck out in terms of like when we go first or when you're not winning. So this card just basically ensures that you're making it to the next turn, and it combos with Reasoning 2 in the graveyard. And it also forces out cards in Kozmo. So yeah, you can use it on the pilots and force out their other cards. So this was also really good. 1 generation shift. This is just to go along with the offerings. I'm not sure what the correct number of this to play is, but I know it's not 3. But I really wanted more offering like cards in the deck, and it's also really good going first, going back to the breakthrough mentality. And Vanities and Warning, just because they're amazing this format against both Magic Spectre and Kozmo, and they're just insane. So that's it for the main deck, 40 total. For the extra deck, we have Gaia. I never really went into that, but Volcasaurus is super clutch.
He went into that.
I said the same thing.
Yeah, I never went into that.
Like, this card, it's just, if you can't kill them that turn, there's so many like ways you can OTK them with this. Because if they have a Valkyrus on the board, for example, and you push through them the last turn, right? This card deals 2,900 to their life points, so it's pretty insane. This card, Pallades, it also lets you play around Necros too. Because you can bounce your cards when you're attacking through Valkyrus. Whatever's attacking, you can bounce it.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, but you just have to make sure that when you're playing, whenever you go into an extra deck monster, you never get to see the levels again. So let's say you make Slip Riders for the 5s, right? You basically lose 2 Slip Riders for the whole game. So you have to make sure that you're okay to commit to that.
Right.
Dweller is only really good against Mirror Match. Basically, if you can get Dweller and a ship that matches their ship, you can go Farm Girl, and then you can't Wicked Witch anymore, so you just blow them out with that. Acid Golem, I never really made, because Farm Girls are pretty good on the board, but it was just there in case of skill drain. Big Guy, I never made it too, but this is a pretty good card through testing. It's just, you never know what you can take, and I don't know. It was just, yeah. Diamond Dire, I put it in because you could pop your Kozmo Town if I ever needed to, but I never did. Exciton Knight is actually pretty good too. Like, a lot of people were siding in a lot of back row, and then if I had a big ship and an Exciton, like, you just clear their board and you still get a floating ship too. But it's so sad this is getting banned. Like, throughout the weekend, so many people were looking for this card, and yeah, it's getting banned the next day. Cowboy for the 800, Castell just to force out Necros or Kozmo cards. I never really made this card either, but I thought it was cute, and I didn't know what else to put in my deck, so I had one lying around. Heartland Draco is really good, just because they can't attack your cards with Kozmo Town.
Right.
And it deals 2,000 the original turn. Heliopolis is my only rank 8. I just like it because it destroys and doesn't target. And yeah, and to finish it off, 2 Chimera Techs with your Cyber Dragons in the side deck.
Let's go over to that side deck.
Yeah, so for the side deck, I had 2 Fairy Winds and 1 Space Typhoon. So we're maining 2 Space Typhoons in our deck and putting a third one here with the 2 Fairy Winds. Usually against Magic Spectre, the pure one, I'll side in all 3. But But if I'm playing against a performable version, I'll just side in the MST. But these were really good throughout the weekend. Let's see. You just have to be careful against a Perform Age build because their damage juggler can negate this and they'll still be able to go off. So,
Right.
Yeah. I also played 3 Retaliating Cs and 3 Max Cs. I actually didn't like this, but I had to figure out a way to cover the Shaddoll matchup and the Necros matchup. So this is what I went to, and then Mitchell recommended this to me, but it was a little too slow for our build, and I had to set up the reasonings to play this.
Oh yeah.
So it was okay, but I think I wouldn't side this for the event, and then it was a little too slow, but yeah, it was alright. So I was having a hard time against Burning Abyss, so I decided to play 2 Flying Seas just to stop them, but I never saw them when I was playing throughout the day, so yeah, I'm not sure how I feel about them either, but that's what they're there for. 2 Storming Mirror Force. It sounds good, but it's just like regular Mirror Force. There's so many ways to play around it, and I think it's only good if it catches them off guard, but once they see it once, it's not really as effective anymore, so I don't know about this card either, but yeah, and to finish it off, 2 Cyber Dragons for the Chimera Techs, and it has another application with the Magispector deck too, just because you can run over cards, and it can make Pleiades, so it's not bad.
He's about 500 people he needs to shout out. Grab your list.
Alright, so I want to shout out Andre and Andy, because they really did come up with the offering tech. This list is like 80% theirs, and they really helped us a lot, so shout out to them. I also want to shout out my team in Stockton and Adam over here, our captain. He really did help me a lot in making me more confident in the game and just teaching me how to play better and fix everything that I did wrong, because when I started I was so bad, but he really helped boost up my confidence, and he believed in my potential, so there was that. Also, I couldn't have played in this event without Gerardo, Kelvin, and Corey over here. They made sure I got the destroyers. Like, I woke up sneak on Saturday, the sneak weekend on Saturday, and they had 2 destroyers for me. They're like, we got them, and then Gerard over here came in clutch the very last day. And shout out to Jarek and Steven too for the Farm Girls. I was having a really hard time looking for them, but they came through in the end too, so thank you guys. Also, I wanted to give a shout out to all the guys back at Just Flip and in the Bay 316. Thank you so much for being there for us, just being in great stores, and providing a place for us to play. Like, I really grew up a lot because of you guys, and yeah, I want to thank you guys for that too. And last shout out, all of the judging crew that we had today. Shout out to JCS and them, Caesar, Ryan, Ben, AJ, just all you guys were great. And thank you, Koi. Koi, Kevin, and Tan, you guys are amazing too. Love you guys. And last but not least, we got everyone here, Team Jobber.
Yeah, easy.
Got quite the crew.
I just quit when you said easy.
Yeah. Yeah, thank you everyone. Yeah, I really appreciated all the help that I got for this event. I actually don't own most of this deck, so I just came back from the game 3 weeks ago, and
I own nothing.
Yeah. Like, shout out to everyone that's helped me out. Shout out to HT, shout out to Calvin, you guys are great. There are so many people I want to shout out, but I can't remember you guys right now. Ken, Mom, Dad giving me birth, But yeah, thank you so much, guys, and I'll see you guys next time.
And Jobber here and the whole team are signing off.
No.